And it's this idea of invisible work, like I said, or as I like to call it, the quiet tax. Because you don't think about it, it's not loud, it's not in your face, but these things add up and they take genuine amount of work and money away from you. It's 40% of your focus or of your productivity or your focus. Your attention residue gets stuck on your previous task. So you're thinking about your previous task for 30 minutes. Average 90 minutes a day are spent on administrative tasks. And 36% of your time every day is spent on administrative work and not actually growing your business. Saving at least 5 hours a week, often more, 5 hours a week without changing your process, without changing the way you work, without having to learn new software. It's automation's cool, it's great, but it's painful when I need to learn QuickBooks. Now I need to learn Outlook, or I need to learn a million different things just to feel proficient at my own job. Software needs to learn to work with your processes. You don't need to learn how to work software. If I need to sign up for something to then go get a college degree to do it, that's ridiculous. Beginners will start to see what custom automation can do for you, not me learning a system, what a system working for me can do for me. And then people who already have automation, already have that built in, already working on it, they're going to learn how to target and kill these invisible work tasks and these quiet tasks, as I like to call it. They're going to learn how to target it. And then all of a sudden, I have way more time in my day. It's incredible.
We got Raymond with us today. He's our guest speaker.
Hey guys,
Raymond,
how you doing?
Did you know Gabriel?
I don't think I've met Gabriel.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you guys had met before or not. So, all right, no worries.
Yeah, I think we haven't.
No, I think it just missed.
Nice to meet you, Raymond.
It's nice to meet you too.
So Raymond, just for Gabriel and John, so you guys know who he is. He actually used to work for that company for a very brief stint, and then COVID came in and interrupted life for everybody. Yeah. But Raymond's actually started his own business. He helps folks automate their bookkeeping, and so today he's going to be covering, as you see on the screen, how to save 5+ hours a week without changing the way that you work. Bookkeep Auto is his business name, and so that's what we're going to cover today. We're going to give a few minutes before we officially kick off here. But when I was talking to Raymond, I think he's going to cover everything from things like invoice payments to accounting reports, things of that nature. So,
so obviously not everyone here is a bookkeeper. So when I realized when I've been showing this people, I'm like, hey, here's a report pack automated. They're like, what's a report pack? I've never seen that before in my life. So we will touch on it, especially the things that are obvious. But I really want to talk more about just the value of automation, what automations I've seen work best, and then we'll tie in bookkeeping and Bookkeep Auto into it as well. It's going to be fun.
Bookkeeping is fun. Yay.
Yeah, numbers.
But hey, if you have to account for revenue, that's a good thing, right? So
Absolutely.
That's right.
We should all have that problem.
Well, one thing I found really interesting, so I'll talk more about this, but essentially I started at first, I'm like, let me automate absolute everything for everyone, always, all the time. And that was the only goal. And the main takeaway is the things that kill time is not what you would think it would be. I'll wait for it to start before I go too far into it. But when we imagine computer automation, we might think AI, we might think system overhauls, and that's just really not the case from what I've seen. Like, sure, there's a place for those, but that's not one of the biggest time killers, in my opinion, anyway.
I know that this is for those of you that have a bunch of clients and have a lot to do in terms of the accounting side, it can be a time suck. And so definitely love to cover it. We're at the 5 minute mark. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 folks here. So we'll go ahead and we'll kick off. We're recording this for everybody else. Without further ado, though, Raymond, go ahead and take it away, my friend.
Awesome. And also, thanks for having me, guys. The whole thing's about saving time. So the fact that you're spending time with me, that's really cool of you guys. Really appreciate it. So if I had to summarize everything up into what this presentation is going to be, it's this statement right here. It's saving at least 5 hours a week, often more. 5 hours a week without changing your process, without changing the way you work, without having to learn new software. It's automation's cool, it's great, but it's painful when I need to learn QuickBooks. Now I need to learn Outlook, or I need to learn a million different things just to feel proficient at my own job. So what I was interested in is focusing on, there's this term called invisible work. So it's work to start your work. So example, I'm sending in payment or I'm sending an email to somebody, but I need to get information from Marty. So I message Marty, hey man, can you send me that form? Marty doesn't see it for 8-10 minutes, and then he responds. And those 7 minutes in, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to the bathroom. This is ridiculous. I might as well. I'm waiting anyway. Then I go 10 minutes, and now we wasted 20 minutes on just getting a form from Marty so that I can do a 1-minute task. And it's these little micro works, micro transactions that end up costing and killing a lot of time. I believe I can't remember the term. I have it here later. But it's basically death by 1,000 cuts. And instead of overhauling systems, focusing on that particular is how I think we can save 5 hours a week. Have you tried automation before, or some form of automation, and it doesn't work? It really isn't your fault. Like I was mentioning before, if my slide wants to work, it's really not your fault. So I started doing this for fun. I got tired of typing this, but here are just a bunch of softwares that entrepreneurs, small businesses, or workers are just either expected to know a good chunk of these, or at least be familiar with them. And I'm going to try to do this fast because there is like a bunch. So let's see. Gmail, Docs, Drive, Outlook, OneDrive, Slack, Zoom, Teams, Google Meet, Dropbox, Notion, Confluence, QuickBooks, Xero, Wave, FreshBooks, Stripe, PayPal, Square, Braintree, Paddle, Chargebee, Shopify, AWS, Gusto, WordPress, Squarespace, Paychex, HubSpot, Salesforce, Soho, SEMrush, Instantly, Apollo, ZoomInfo, MailChimp, Google Ads, Meta Ads, Bamboo Ads, LinkedIn Ads, TikTok Ads, ChatGPT, DocuSign, Zapier. And at this point, you got the point. I got tired of typing. There's so many animations had, but we're expected to be familiar with the mass majority. I'm sure off the top of your head, without much thinking, you can think of at least 2, 3, 5, 10 more that you need to know. So when I went into automation, I thought it sucks to have to learn another one. Or, hey guys, do you want a 59th thing you need to do at work? It's not much of a task. Saver if I'm adding more stuff to your plate. So it's really understandable. And truth be told, slide for me. An overwhelmed person is very helpless. And that can be useful for some companies. It's a genuine strategy. If you have no other options, or if you are being overwhelmed, what are you going to do? It's similar reason why we don't like monopolies or whatever have you. But how do I phrase this? It is normal to feel overwhelmed with a million different softwares and a million different tasks, and you go to work and it's a lot. And there are companies who want you to struggle with their software. I read this really cool offer, And when I was starting, not even Bookkeep Auto, the pre-company to Bookkeep Auto, which is called Your Local Coder, someone recommended me to give this offer, and it worked great. So you build a software for someone or an automation, and you offer them a discount if you go through your training. So if you do my training, if you do this, you go to graduation or whatever have you, then I'll give you 15% off the product, which sounds great. They know how to use your system. But if you look at the back end of that, the reason why it was great for the company to offer that, because it makes the product very sticky. So if you learn this complicated software, let's say for your bookkeeping, for whatever have you, and then you went through this whole thing and it's complicated, and now you're working with me, the odds you're gonna go leave and learn another complicated software is just low. So if you tried automation before or just a new software and it fails, it's very reasonable to fail. In some ways, it's more reasonable to fail than to succeed. Software needs to learn so that's the point I want to get, or one of the points I want to get across in this meeting. And one of the points that I really focus on Bookkeep Auto, software needs to learn to work with your processes. You don't need to learn how to work software. If I need to sign up for something to then go get a college degree to do it, that's ridiculous. You shouldn't need to be an IT person to do your job. So what I found was this one particular idea. And I saw it in a research paper, and then I did a lot of papers on it. I read a lot of papers on it, and this is what the heart of all the software goes to. And it's this idea of invisible work, like I said, or as I like to call it, the quiet tax. Because you don't think about it, it's not loud, it's not in your face, but these things add up and they take genuine amount of work and money away from you. So here are 3 of the papers I really liked, and I think put it in very clear text of why this is a problematic issue. So first was a paper or research by Sophie Leroy, University of Washington. And she had a paper, it was Susan, and it was published in Psychology Today. And what they found is context switching reduces productivity by roughly 40%, and it takes 25 to 30 minutes to get back to refocusing. So there's this idea in her paper that was called attention residue. So if I'm doing a task and I switch to something else, it would take a long time for my brain to get over that previous task, and I would be stuck on it, and my brain would be trying to solve the previous task while I'm working the current one. So that slowdown is very bad for productivity. It's the same reason why we can get songs stuck in our head. A song is stuck in our head and we just can't get it out, and then we listen to the song and all of a sudden it's over. It's because our brain finished the sequence. So if I'm at work and I'm working something and then someone else, wait, I need you to do this now, or example again with Marty, I need him to send me the report. I'm throwing myself off because I'm switching tasks. Marty's now productivity is going down because he has to do something else. And then that hurts 2 employees for a good bit of time. Not to mention, I have seen studies where people start to get mentally tired after the 30-minute mark. So if I'm switching tasks constantly, my productivity goes down. And by the time I'm able to refocus, I'm tired again. And then I need a little 5-minute break. That's rough. I really dislike the quiet tax. Another one, this was a survey done by the company Slack. I believe it was a couple hundred, maybe even low thousands, but they surveyed a bunch of different entrepreneurs and small businesses. And what they found was small business owners lose about 1.5 hours a day to unproductive microtasks, emails, procrastination, just things that aren't leading to success. And if we add 1.5 hours up a day, it came out to roughly 3 weeks a year at work. That's insane. Imagine if you can have an extra 3 weeks of your life every year. to do whatever you want, play video games. I know Marty used to play World of Tanks. I used to watch him do that at lunch. That was great. But it's absurd. And then here's the one that really is painful. Entrepreneurs, this was a study by Forbes. I think it was published, 2023. There it is. 36% of their time is done in administrative tasks, not anything that has to do with growth. They can be what's over a third of your time that can be spent on marketing. It could be spent on hanging out with coworkers, anything, or honestly, anything. If we had a computer or a system that can save, not even a computer, let's just say a system that can save 1/3 of your time, I don't know about you, I would love to spend 36% more time with my dog at home. That sounds amazing. So this little micro task and these little invisible works and task switching, they do play a part into here. Or even a software needs to upload, now I can't do work. There's a lot of little things that build up. So just quick recap of the last 3 slides. What are the actual costs? It's 40% of your focus or of your productivity or your focus. Your attention residue gets stuck on your previous task. So you're thinking about your previous task for 30 minutes. Average 90 minutes a day are spent on administrative tasks. And 36% of your time every day is spent on administrative work and not actually growing your business or anything else you want to do with your time. So this presentation, we will go into bookkeeping a little bit, I promise. But the main thing if you haven't had any automation in your life, you don't need your own business, just in your own personal workflow, beginners will start to see what custom automation can do for you. Not me learning a system, what a system working for me can do for me. And then people who already have automation, already have that built in, are already working on it, they're going to learn how to target and kill these invisible work tasks and these quiet tasks, as I like to call it. They're going to learn how to target it. And then all of a sudden, I have way more time in my day. It's incredible. It's the way I had to phrase it is people think of automation as big wins, like a sporting event, somebody winning the Super Bowl, but you got to do all the little things just as well as you do the big things. And that saves equally as much time in a lot of cases. So, rest of this presentation, one idea. And I've said it a few times, so I'm going to say it one more time. The goal is to get you to believe that automating this quiet tax can save you 5 hours a week. And that 5 hours a week, you can spend it on whatever you like and just be more productive and a better worker. So I labeled this case studies. But basically, this is, okay, well, you're saying things. Why do I listen to you type deal? And I want to focus away from bookkeeping because, not everyone here is a bookkeeper. So here are 2 fun studies. First was automation I did for Lockheed Martin, working on the F-35 fighter jet. It's basically an $85 million plane, really fancy plane. And just by really focusing on automation and these little things, we were able to save 5 hours per system. So about 20, I think I low estimated this or to be 480 jets because it's a big team of engineers. Each one of them makes about $40 an hour. So the estimated savings just from this ended up being, I think, $96,000. And this is very conservative on the low end. That's what's also interesting. Let's say you had a small business about this automation. It's 5 hours a week, but it's 5 hours a week for everyone who uses it. So if you have 10 employees, that's 50 hours a week can be savings. And this doesn't even account for, my wife will tell you, I make mistakes all the time. Little stupid things all day long. Computers don't make mistakes, not if you do it correctly. So you're saving time on not having to do it and not having to redo it as well. But this is very conservative. And speaking of my wife, because I thought this was fun, and you guys are digital marketing, so you might think this is a little fun. She has a party princess company called Magical Moments Princess Parties. She basically dresses up like Princess Anna or whatever have you, and she goes to a bunch of birthday parties. She goes, she sings, she dances, all the fun stuff. But one thing I didn't know when she was starting this, those dresses are expensive. They're really expensive. So there was a pretty steep hole pretty early on, just getting started. And I believe her; she's great. I know she's gonna do great. But it was like part of it, like there's a comma in there for these dresses. Oh my lord, we need overtime. But with magical moments, so she at first she was overwhelmed. Of course, there's never had a business before. It's crazy. But we just started automating, adding things to the clerical duties. So sending her emails, reminder emails, follow-ups, actually grabbing the information from her bank feed, seeing who paid her, seeing who hasn't paid her. Things like finding ways to automate outreach was pretty nice, like getting leads. But the main things we focus on were really just the simple things. And then with that extra time, she just started learning marketing. And I helped her obviously because I used to work here. SEO is pretty nice on that website, if I have to say. But the Party Princess was profitable in week 6 after spending a lot of money. And I'm far better than I was expecting. All credit goes to her. She's great. But the automation certainly helped. So, all right. So this is where it gets a little spicy. I want to kind of talk about what got me into automation in general. And I've actually never said, I've had quite a bit calls now. I've never said this on a call. So apparently, this I just found out. I have very intense ADHD. Like this last week or so, I got diagnosed for it. And this is even my first week on medicine. I just thought I was like, I don't know, very distractible or something. I thought it was cool. But apparently I had very ADHD. And everyone knew it. When I told my supervisor about my diagnosis, he was like, yeah, duh. But everyone else knew this. I didn't. So one of the hardest things, especially with task switching, was just losing so much productivity. And it was my wife's long dream, like since she was a little kid. She wants to go live in Europe. That's her thing. I don't get it. Florida's cool, but she really wants to do it. So that became only goal. Only goal I want to do is save up money or get some kind of income where I can work remote so my wife can go live in Europe and I can go with her and just stay at home in Europe. I don't know. But that led to me creating a company called Your Local Coder. And Your Local Coder, I spoke about a little bit earlier. It was a shotgun. Like, hey, anyone need an IT guy? I've worked a computer before. And I just went message everybody. I think the site might still be up. I'm actually curious. Here it is. So it's not exactly, because this is when I started branching into automation. But this was the offer, essentially, is I drive you and I watch what you do during, well, there's an automation version of it. Essentially, I would be driving to these companies and I'm like, hey, let me just see if you guys can use anything better or anything I know that you can be improving IT work. I'll drive them, I'll implement systems, update whatever, and then say, don't pay me for 1-2 weeks, a month. I don't care. Do whatever you want to do. If you're happy, then you tell me what you want. You tell me what you should pay me. I thought it was a pretty cool offer. What ended up happening is people were like, oh, that's pretty cool, but how's $10? We already have everything. So that was pretty painful at first because that offer, I felt very generous. I'm trying to do a lot of things here. And most people were kind about it, but certainly did happen. This slide I called Hope because this is when I started to figure it out. And here a little bit more about ADHD, which is crazy. I've never said this out to strangers, or not strangers. Some of you are strangers, but you're nice. I like you guys. So So I was doing this, and it's profitable, but it's not doing too well. Um, and I remember I was so far behind on my tasks. It was insane. There was one week in particular, it did well. I'm working a full time job, and I'm doing this. And there was a bunch of people, like I think 3 or 4 clients in one week, and I couldn't figure out, which is great, but also added less time. I couldn't figure out who paid me, who didn't, where's my money, what, like the math isn't mathing here. The number in the bank account isn't what it's supposed to be. So I I already had this weekend planned in particular because I was proposing to my now wife. Um, and I'm very excited, but at the same time, we did a trip to Boston or because we went to Castle in the Clouds. And it's pretty expensive there, so money was on the mind for sure. And I remember the night before our proposal, or the night before we flew out and I proposed, I think I stayed up to 5:30 a.m. to wake up at 6:15, which I like sleep. That wasn't fun. So I stayed up and just doing a bunch of clerical stuff, things that I know I shouldn't do. Logging into this bank account, checking this here, checking my email here for this. A lot of administrative work, the quiet tax as we speak of, and then getting distracted because wait, I'm checking this bank account. I don't know the password. Okay, forgot password. Okay, gotta get into this email. What's this email account? Forgot password. Okay. Oh, while I'm in this email, let me see if these people sent me the invoice or here. Maybe that's where it is. And I went through my proposal, which I loved. It was great, fantastic. But I remember being so tired and thinking I should not be tired right now. This is ridiculous. Then to rub salt in the wound, I'm like, you know what? Let's get a little W. People say I have ADHD. I don't think I do. And I took an online test, and they're like, you got it bad. And I'm like, that's nonsense. Yeah, they're like, you got it. And then I went to work the following weekend, and then I was telling one of my coworkers who's incredibly smart. His name's David, and he was like, just like you code, just like 20 minutes of work or 20 minutes of coding, you could have done that in like seconds. I didn't believe him. I thought he was just exaggerating. So I went home that day. Uh, I went on Chat GPT. I'm like, Chat, can I actually do this? He's like, yeah, you should try looking into this. So then I made this very basic script in Python, and I should have been angry because I wasted all the time, but I remember feeling this is amazing. Everything done in seconds right there. And I saw, and honestly, no one owed me money, which was nice, but everything was done in just a few seconds. So that was my first script. I immediately made a system where it says who owes me money, who doesn't, and then puts it all in one folder. And I've never, to this day, I still have not had this problem. Then I kept on with this, and all my automations started focus, and then automation from that point started focusing on very basic things. I wasn't trying to reinvent the wheel, wasn't trying to make a whole new software. Not all of them, but the vast majority are little things that just eat up time. And we had a wedding coming up now. I thought I was gonna have less time for the wedding. I ended up having significantly more time. And I was attentive, it was great. We had a great wedding. It was fun. And now we're saving up money to get Europe, and we're on our way. I think we're going to be able to do it. And I think this is certainly helping. So, this is the first secret I want to talk about. It's not when it comes to automation, I've mentioned it a few times, but it's not about automating the whole system. It's about automating the gaps in the system. You change the handoff and the task. You change the handoff, not the task. The way of getting information and the way of validating. You don't want to, it works for you, not the other way around. So here's one of the stories how I learned this lesson. I wanted to, yes, there was this thing in Lockheed where we grab data from somewhere and we basically put it on the system. It's a server that helps the jet fly. I wanted to have it do everything for you immediately, but the information in the first place wasn't being sent correctly. So I was putting essentially junk, terrible data onto a kit. And because of that, it went out to the field, and they couldn't start their jets because this system doesn't log on. Everyone, it was a panic. I got in a little bit of trouble that week. But lesson learned. If you are working with data, you validate it first. So here, I want to do a little show and tell. And here's an example of how we take this idea, we take this secret, and we start applying it to actual systems. So here's a fun little thing. Let's delete this. Let's do it for fun. So this is part of Bookkeep Auto. Essentially, this is our upsell. Our Bookkeep Auto, the web platform, is the upsell. I offer free audits, and I'd say, hey, I'll automate your systems and basically do requests. And if you really like working with us, we have a web page that does report packs, it chases ARs, there's a whole client portal for you. There's a receipt reader, it uses AI to actually categorize, and there's auto categorization of CSV files or bank statements. So here's one example here. I put Amazon and category, I'll say a rule name, Amazon shopping. A category, let's say spending on nonsense. Let's do the word Amazon. Minimum amount, 2,000, and max amount 0. So we click add rule, and now this is adjusting to our process. So if let's say I had a name for a company that often pays me, I do Lockheed Martin payment. And the category would be income for income. And then I want to just search by the word Lockheed. Minimum amount, $0. Maximum amount, 5,000. And let's add this rule. So now our profile has this saved to it. So if I go to this page here, and let's refresh. And now give a second load, and I pick a bank, and then I upload this right here. Now next would detect the columns and saying, okay, just verify this is the date, this is the description, and this is the amount. Everything looks good. So I'll click confirm map and upload. Now I'll just give it a couple seconds. Let's see how it goes. So it didn't catch the Lockheed, probably spelled it wrong, but caught Amazon here, and it's saying spending on nonsense is probably the category based on the rule you set up. And it's only suggested. It's saying it with 80% confidence because there are extra characters here. But instead of the first lesson was I would automatically, the first issue I had with the last script, I would have it say, this is what it is, take it or leave it. I know now, like that's not how it works. When you work with data, you fill it, you have users verify. So now I'll say this is income, this is Google storage, this is more income. Oh wait, this is actually a vending machine. I spent $7 on a vending machine. Anyway, here's my real bank statements, by the way. Tickets, phone, pizza. And now I accept all suggestions. And now if I just click download CSV, I get that CSV file. And the information from there, this is more of a production feature, but essentially we can from here upload this QuickBooks once all the data has been verified, and then it saves you from actually having to read through it, categorize it, ideally, once you set up all the rules, categorize it and go through all that pain. The idea is if you do it here, you do it once. So you struggle once and then that's it. And then you save time pretty much forever. So that's an example of the secret over here. Automate the gaps, not the actual job itself. The gaps here would be importing to QuickBooks or deciding what it's going to be or just typing it every single time. So you might be thinking, okay, well, in general, automation is too complicated for me. It's nice, a sweet idea, but complication, it can be complicated. And here's like the second secret I really enjoy. It's start small with automations because most automation is very easy, very doable. I said this a little bit earlier, but you avoid death by 1,000 cuts. Or better yet, just avoid death in general. So here's a little free gift. Here are 2 free gifts I want to give you. This, wrong screen. Where are you? If we go to google.scripts.com, I remember Ken is a big Dolphins fan, and I know they're not having a good season. So here's a little thing you can make. I put an email address here. I won't send it again just yet. But Mike, I recommend you do this every Sunday. And put the subject as did they win? This is going to be absolutely not. Oh, here's a link. Let me grab that link I want. And this also, it's a funny website, so I just want to share it in general. Here, and then I save it. Now if I click run, I sent it to myself, yes. Okay, make sure I wasn't sending that to him. So this can automatically just send an email for you. Just an example of one thing that's small that they add up. And if I go to triggers here, I already set one up, but let's see, send weekly link. We can set it to time driven, and we want it to be weekly, and we want to send it every Sunday from 10 to 11. Football should be over by then. And then on his link, here's what Mike would see, or Ken would see from his end. So here's an email called Did They Win? Absolutely not. And here's one of my favorite websites in the world. It's called Let Me Google That For You. You click it, and it Googles for you. I just think it's so funny. And then knowing the Dolphins, it's making me prove I'm not a robot this time. But knowing the Dolphins, the answer is probably no. So that is a free automation that I recommend for everyone. It's known as a little bit spicy because a lot of times if someone gives you like a dumb question, you could just put in something there and be like, hey, why don't you actually Google it yourself instead of asking me? But a more practical use of it would be this right here. This is one of the this is one of the bookkeeper clients we worked with, and I offered to automate so many things for this lady. I think it was the name is escaping me. I offered to automate their form fill or their banks, their CSV, or oh my god, their report packs, basically everything I offer now. But this was one of my first clients, so I wanted to get it down to the second. I wanted them to not feel like they had to do anything at work. But after all this is all they wanted. They just wanted a form filler. Basically, the problem they had was people were sending them information, but not filling out all the necessary requirements. So, Raymond Maldonado. And this is very simple, but it's an example of automation doesn't have to be complicated. Matter of fact, it's usually not. Let's business name, let's call it that company. This address, 511, Warfield. Real address. Let me stop typing that. Let's see. Accounting software, QuickBooks, monthly transaction, 1,000. I want to show off some automation. Any specific deadlines? Soon, please. Then here's an example of like a signature they will need. And essentially the problem they were having was, oh, that's my dog's name. The problem they were having was people not filling out all the information. So let's just put today's date. So if I tried it here, please fill out this field. And this little thing right here, that they were so happy. I was, it was interesting because there was definitely a learning moment where it's not the big things. It really isn't. I'll say that over and over. But I click this, submission received, and then on my Gmail, here's the attachment you got. It's just all the information, and now they can do what they want with it. And obviously that form could be customizable to any needs. But they were very happy. It has a little ticket name, and this was probably one of my happiest clients I've ever had. So one other common concern is automation. They lose the human touch. They can't do it the way I do it, or something along those lines. And here's the last secret. And if take away anything, take this away. Automation is basically a hammer. It's meant to amplify your work, not replace it. If I have a hammer, it's meant to make it easier to knock in the nails. I'm not changing the design of the whole system or the whole structure. It's just making it easier so I don't have to punch it with my hand. So keep in mind, software really should work for you, not the other way around. So I'm gonna do one last little show and tell. And I'm gonna show, this isn't a fully complete system. I wanna show it you anyway. And I wanna show you what will improve from it, or what is the next step from it to kind of prove this idea that we've been going through. So this is, like Mike was the one who actually told me this idea. It's kind of a reminder of, yes, it's about not making them have to learn something else. It's me adjusting to them. When we got in a call maybe a month ago at this point. So let's let it load up, just starting the system. And this is what Bookkeep Auto, the dashboard, is in general. There will be the pages you saw before, and then a little menu here to actually do them. So let's just connect to QuickBooks real quick. And here.
That's an impression of your internet connection. That's pretty quick.
It's local. It's not online currently because it's a development build, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I pay too much for internet, so yeah. And then, so normally, go to QuickBooks, figure out who's behind, and figure out what date to send. Do this over and over. So, case overdue invoices is fun. I click this button, and now email. My job is done here. I go on to the next task. And to show you what it'll look like on the user's end, just pull up. I forwarded all the email to go to my one account, but in theory, these would all be going to different clients. So it's custom because you get this email for 36 days soon. Hey, there's a friendly reminder that your invoice, the invoice is 36 days due. Here's the actual invoice here. And all this information is coming from QuickBooks. It's just dummy data because I don't like showing off client information. That's
right.
Not something I enjoy.
Like it'd be, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then, so if you're too late on it, it's like, hey, this is final notice. We give them the mean thing here. Same idea. So the next implementation of this would be to actually make a front end or a web page where users can enter in their own template of the actual text. Once that's done and a couple of minor things, then this update basically is going to go live. So if you're 36, let's see. If you're brand new and you're just a little bit overdue, it's like, hey, this is a friendly reminder. You're 36 days due. We want our money. But if you go 58 days, it's like, hey, I'm following up with you guys. Come, give me my money. If you're very late, final notice, I want my money. Come on. We're all adults here. But the main part, the interesting part about this, you're going to be in control of what you send. It's your words, it's your process, it's your rules. It's not adjusting to anything else. And then, so I just want to give a quick little recap of everything. Your time at work is often lost in the transition of tasks or task switching. It's not about the actual job itself. And I think that can lead to a lot of frustration, a lot of stress from employees, even because I remember when I worked, that company, great, never had an issue with any of my bosses or anything. I remember I felt this self-stress because we had to write these articles. I don't know if you guys still do that.
No.
No, really.
No.
There's ChatGPT now, man.
Right.
Oh, that's
We automated.
Hey, nice. Well done. But I remember I used to get
and-
self-stressed.
I do want to make sure if anybody has any specific questions about ideas of things that they want to make sure are automated, that they get a chance to talk to you about that.
Oh yeah.
So, but
sure.
I won't interrupt too much. And I think one of the things when I was meeting with you, and for anybody here, that I thought was interesting that can be a time suck is certainly when somebody hits that point where their credit card does fail, right?
Mhm.
And thankfully it doesn't happen all the time, but it happens. And so that automated following up of them not having to stop what they're doing every day, take away from growing their business to follow up with somebody that hey, yeah, I need to go get the money. I just want everybody here to know, one, if you don't have a process for that, I thought this might be interesting as it relates to that in particular. Um, Two, I've got all sorts of messages and emails and timelines and process that we have here. I'm more than happy to send those to you if you do not have a process in place for accounts receivable. So, anyways, there you go. I just want to
Gotcha.
interject that I'm happy to share that with anybody here. Go ahead.
And one more thing I want to actually tag on to that, that I've had some interesting things with. I use Stripe for payments, and they have the 3.5% fee on it. So I basically asked for 2 forms of payment, and if they give the second form of payment, like, hey, do you have another card on you? I would subtract that 3.5% from their monthly fee. So then if first payment goes through, it's just like, okay, we'll charge the second one. And I like to charge every 2 weeks, roughly around when payday will come. But I mean, if they ever call and like, hey, can you just cancel it? Immediately give their money back. But 2 forms of payment I found very useful.
Nice. I like it.
Mm-hmm. But it's about getting your time back, just minor. And there is a Q&A at the very end, but I love being not saying this sassy, I do like being interrupted because I love discussions like that. So if anyone has a question, I should have said this way earlier.
I just wanted to prove that time was lost in transition there. That's it. I was just trying to help your point.
So I appreciate that. But in that company, I used to get so stressed because it took me a while to write an article. I'm like, they're going to think I'm stupid because I can't write this article and it's supposed to be really quick and easy and whatever. And I think a lot of people have tasks. It's like, I'm just supposed to send an email. Why did this take an hour? Why did this take 30 minutes? And I think a lot of it comes down to transitions. So let's see what else is here. So quick 3 secrets, 3 things that I really enjoyed. You should add automation in your process, not replace your process with automation. It's easier than you think. Start small, win big in the long run, but just start really small, something simple, like the Miami Dolphins thing I said. It'll improve in efficiency and it'll let you focus on other actual important tasks that you really want to do with your day. And if you're thinking, wait, this is great, but how do I actually do it? It's very simple. Just start small. Start with email. Start with making a rule in Google or a rule in Gmail. Set up folders so you have documents where you know they are. If someone constantly asks for something, name a folder Mike Knorr. So anytime Mike asks for me, I just have to look for that folder. Automation is a lot easier than we think, especially with the tools we have nowadays. And we're all running out of time. I want to spend more time, my wife and my dogs, and everyone here as a person they want to spend more time with, or an activity they'd rather be doing. So there's no reason not to attempt to at least save a little bit of it. So two slides left, and then, or one slide left, and then a Q&A. If you do enjoy this and you want to take anything with you, try to just, and first, Christmas time, enjoy your family. That's the whole point of saving time, be with your loved ones. But first week of next year, just look for something very minor to automate. And then once you start doing it, you end up finding it's actually kind of fun. And then it'll snowball from then on out. And before you know it, you do save a lot of time. So if I have any advice, just week 1, 2026, automate something extremely minor. Questions and answer time. Anything at all.
I want to actually just add 2 little pieces real quick to everything that you just said. One is, if you're not sure what the heck to even automate to begin with, highly recommend as you go through this week, literally just go, oh, hey, I did this, and put it on the calendar right next to, so you can go look back and go, oh, I spent this much time doing those tasks, right? And that's going to open your eyes to where you're spending your time truly, not where you think where you should have spent your time, but where you actually spent your time. And then the second thing I'll share real quick, Raymond, you familiar with the Pomodoro technique?
I actually am not. What's this?
No, it's really cool. There's Pomodoro timers. It's a whole thing. It's the time management method. But in essence, you set a timer for 25 minutes. You declared, hey, this is what I'm going to be doing during that 25 minutes. And you focus on that, and then you take a 5-minute break. We actually work way better when we do it that way than when we just go, all right, I'm going to sit down and, tackle it for 3 hours. When we actually have those intervals, and when it goes off, it's like, did I actually work on the thing that I declared that I was going to work on? If not, that's a problem, right? What's nice is when you do this, also you close out Outlook, you close out Teams, you close out Facebook. You turn off your cell phone, and go, this is what I'm doing.
Absolutely. Because you do get tired after a little bit too long doing a test. Your brain just feels like you took the SATs after a while.
Yeah.
I see your hand, Rave, Devin. What's going on?
You're muted there.
Crying. What's been the most silly thing that you've ever automated?
Ooh. I actually do have a good answer for that one. This was in my very early days of automation. I saw a South Park episode and I was inspired. They basically, Stan's girlfriend, the character, would text, she'll send him these long texts and he didn't want to respond. So he had ChatGPT write responses. I thought that was amazing. So I implemented something like that. My wife would ask, hey, do you want to do this? I'm like, I don't know I don't know. And then I made a system where ChatGPT would actually read my text and respond for me. And I told it half the time say no, half the time say yes. So like, okay, 50-50. But my wife, very much smarter than I am, she caught on. And the next month, my schedule was full. Every day we were going to flower fields or whatever have you.
And she just asked you twice.
Yeah, she asked me twice, or she would ask in advance, or she would use a weird word. She caught on. It's a smart one.
That's awesome.
Oh, anything else at all?
Hey, I just want to share something. I did with GPT. It saves me a lot of hours.
Nice.
You know these like the lead scrapers. Some of them
Mhm.
they give you the emails in a comma limited like format.
Mhm.
So I had to find a way to split those because there was like one column with like multiple
Mhm.
Gmails and emails, right? So I had to find a way to like kind of like separate those and in another row. I was like, crap, how do I do that? I started like a long time ago. Then I was doing something else, but then I came back to it and I created a GPT that it basically it spread like it spanned the
Mhm.
comma limited like format, span the rows, and it give you more emails, more rows, and that saves you like a lot of
Mhm.
hours. Do it, you know, and it's crazy because I get a bunch more emails from one file.
Mhm. And it seems like something that wouldn't like it's just changing a file, like the same file. You wouldn't think it adds up, but then you do. It's like I saved quite
Yeah,
a
when
bit.
I was doing manually, I was like,
For
but
sure.
yeah, I just upload like 10 files at a time and it does everything and it gives me the files.
That's awesome. Well done.
Cool. Thanks, man. And I'm also like always looking to, you know, what can I automate. Some of the things are a little bit hard because you have to get data from here,
Mhm.
then kind of like, you know, create like a document, then give that input data to and it's a lot of tough stuff, but you know, there's ways you can like you said, close the gap.
Sure. And also, we're all friends here. This is what I do for fun. If anybody wants me to just look at, it's like, hey, here's things you can automate, or just want to talk about automation in general. Um, Mike, you have my phone number. Feel free to give it out. Anybody. If you want a free audit, or if you just want to just chit chat about computers and automation, I'm always for it. That's what I do for fun.
Do me a favor. Go ahead and share where you want people to contact you so it's caught in the recording as well.
Okay,
Whether
sure.
it's an email or phone number. Either.
Let's do phone number because I'm still warming up this email. Um, let's do 352 272 8936.
There you go. You got any questions about automation? Want to chit chat about it? Raymond's your guy. Raymond, thank you so much for investing the time and pulling our eyes to the honestly the simplicity of what we need to be focused on when it comes to automations. We often get sucked into the mire of how big of a project it would be to automate the whole thing, but meanwhile, we just need to automate a few core pieces. And so, thank you for that.
Yep.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. Appreciate you guys spending your
Absolutely.
time with me, ironically.
Yeah.
You mind
Thanks, Raymond. Good to see you again.
Nice to see you.